Hello, my name is Paul Piskosz and I am Pre-Sales Engineer at Storware. Today let me guide you how Storware is easy to use when you want to protect Microsoft 365. And also, let me add one more thing. Storware in the 1st of March add free version Freemium, when you can protect your Microsoft 365 resources up to 100 users. So let's deep dive. First of all, this tutorial assuming you already installed Storware Backup and Recovery. There are several options to install, but we always recommend use OVA installation. Nowadays you can easily download OVA image from our repository. So after installation, let's log in to web console. Okay, let's turn off tutorial. And first thing which you need to notice, license is missing. So if I were you, I will go on our website. So storware.eu. Here is an option to try now. As I mentioned, at the 1st of March we added freemium version. So no time limit and up to 100 Microsoft users can be protected with this free license. So get started. First of all, we need to provide several information. I will start with the top, Microsoft 365, then please provide the full name, company, and of course don't forget about the business address email. Then phone number, and you can choose the proper country. Let me find Poland here very quickly and get the license. Simple as that. Shortly you should receive email with the license attached. So let's move back to our web UI. Click into invalid license. You should be moved to the settings, global settings, and here is the option to select license file. I already downloaded my license freemium, so let me use this one. Perfect. License agreement, let's accept it. Alright, valid license appear, so let's do double check in dashboard. Is license added properly? Yes, permanent and it's valid. So next step which you should do is to check is backup destination are already there. There should be two. One for the virtual environment, second one dedicated for the cloud resources. Next step, I always encourage you to protect internal database of Storware. See, there is a red dot, so internal database backup is outdated. Let me take you very quickly into application, and here, as simple as that, instance to protect internal database is already pre-created. So just to be sure our backup is done, let me quickly create a full backup. Okay, this is the old one. Let me clear this view for you. Perfect. Yes, my backup is running. That's good one. Export is done. I think we are good to go to them adding Microsoft 365 tenant. Let's wait for the complete here. Perfect. Finish. So far, so good. So, if you want to protect Microsoft 365, first of all, you need to add your tenant to our solution. So, the best way and the simplest way is to use the wizard configuration. You can find it in the main dashboard in the right top corner. There is the wizard configuration button. Few steps to cover. Let me quickly describe what you can create and what you can set in these steps. First, it's the welcome message where you can set your language and, of course, your time zone. Then you can check is the node are available and are running. If yes, we can move forward. Next step is to select a source. Our case is to protect Microsoft 365. But here you can also, if you want to test our solution in your environment, easily add other like virtual machines, containers, storage, or application. As I mentioned, we are going to protect Microsoft 365. So, next. Now, two options. You can, if you already add or create a Storware application in your tenant, you can use create button, and simple as that provides several values like tenant ID, client ID, and the secret. But at the beginning, I always encourage you to use setup assistant. Okay, so let's create together application in tenant. First step is simple. Click on the link. All right, we are forward to the sign to Microsoft, and now we need to copy authorization code. You can use icon over there to copy that code. Simple as that, copy paste. And let's use next button. Now you need to provide administrator login and password to your tenant. And here is a small information for you. Storware don't store that value. Okay, we are trying to see. Yes. Let's continue. Okay, now we can close this tab. All right, the user is logged in. That's good. We can move to the next step. Okay, here you can decide how many applications you want to protect. We always recommend create at least one application per every 500 users. In version Freemium, please don't forget you can protect up to 100 users, so one application should be enough at the beginning. Okay, application has been successfully created, so we can move to the next step. All right, this step, basically speaking, is a copy-paste step, so let me guide you how to do it quickly and in the best way. First, open provided link. All right, so next one, we need to copy application ID and paste it over there in app ID and title. Next, you need to copy the tenant ID, which is over there, and copy it into app domain tab. Next, and the last step in this case, is to copy XML file. And again, we need to paste it here. Perfect. And please don't forget, name your application. Title should be unique. Let me use demo1 over there, and simple as that, let me add OVA at the end. Now we need to create. Perfect. So this is a trust question. Are we sure we are going to trust this application? In that case, yes, we should trust it. And if everything went okay, you should be moved to the SharePoint Admin Center. Okay, we don't need that tab anymore. We can close it. All right, so if we complete that step, we can move to the next one. This one is to grant permission to application which is already created by our wizard. So let's grant that permission together. Okay, one more time, you need to confirm who you are, so provide administrator access, login and password. And now you should be able to see the full list of permission which are required. Total value is 40 of them, and at the bottom there is an option to accept or cancel. In our scenario, accept. Perfect. Node is running, so let's move. Next one, permission are granted, so we can move to the next one. Perfect. Okay, so few words here about that step. This step is mandatory when you are creating the Storware application in your tenant for the first time. In the future, you can skip this step. But how to do it properly? First of all, you need to open PowerShell as administrator, and at the beginning I always encourage you in that step to use our documentation. You can find it over there, and go to protecting Microsoft 365 and Microsoft 365 organization management, and here is an option to add Microsoft 365 using the setup assistant. Why we are here? Because you, at the beginning, when you opened the PowerShell as administrator, you need to install a Microsoft online module. So the best and the simplest way is to copy directly from our documentation and paste it as an administrator using a PowerShell. If you do it, then you can move, and simple as that, copy command by command in the same window as in the PowerShell. If you do that, you can move to the next and the last step, which is, basically speaking, create access in Storware Backup and Recovery to your tenant. So let's do that together. All right, there is a simple question. Do we want to use inventory synchronization for this service provider? Yes, please. Okay, look, request has been submitted, and in the case of same as in the case of application protection, you should be able to see a progress in the workflow console, and in that case, inventory synchronization is in the queue, and right now it started to running. Okay, looks like inventory synchronization is finished. So let's check what we can protect. Cloud resources are in the Cloud tab, and here you can easily see your users, your groups, your SharePoint sites, and your Teams channel as well. And not schedule, see closely, no schedule defined. How to do it as quickly as is possible to protect your Microsoft 365 resources? Let's do an example over there. Let's try to use, for example, this one, this user, and you need to assign a user to the specific policy. Storware, if you use an OVA installation, Storware pre-create that policy for you. So simple as that. Select from the list and use a Save button. Now you can protect your user. So select him once again, and at the right you can use a backup icon. According to policy, yes, let's try to protect user according to the policy. And simple as that, backup. Now tasks have been submitted, so you know where to go right now. Workflow console. Here, same as in the inventory synchronization, you can see a progress in the backup of this specific user. Let's wait together for some progress over there. And in meanwhile, I think the good way for you or for me to describe what we are protecting by default. To see that, you need to open the Backup SLA tab. Here is a production cloud policy, and if we go inside, in the Feature tab, you will see what will be protected. So, in the case of user, we are protecting Microsoft Exchange Mailbox, Exchange Archive Mailbox, Exchange Calendars, Exchange Contacts, OneDrive for Business, and Teams Chat. Teams Chat is a private conversation between users. Of course, don't forget about groups, don't forget about the SharePoint sites with the subsites as well, and Teams channel, public and private. Alright, so meanwhile, let's look on the progress. We are almost done over here. Okay, our backup is done. Just at the end, let's double check if some items appear in the user mailbox. So quickly, let's open the user account, and here in the Protected tab, you should be able to see, let's use a mailbox as an example, a tree of folders in the user mailbox, and of course you can go granularly deep dive to see a single mails which are protected. Now you can add as many users as you want and attach them to that specific policy, or you can create your own policy and select the proper resources which you want to protect. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to download the free version, which is available on our website storware.eu, and don't forget, without time limit, and you can protect up to 100 Microsoft 365 users. Thank you.